Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Irfan Akbar Fariza, and today I want to give an informative speech about specific event, which is the first moon landing. The first moon landing in 1969 was a great moment in human history, showing technological innovation and human determination, and leaving a lasting legacy for us on science and exploration. Before we discuss further, let's watch a 2-minute video of Apollo 11 mission to make you guys understand it easier. So this is a Saturn V rocket that's been launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida and has 3 main parts. The first part is the center module, command module, which is have the cabin for the 3 astronauts, and the second part is that surface module, which provides electricity, water, oxygen, and other supplies for the astronauts. And the last is the lunar module, which basically is the engine of these rockets. So the use is that for landing and going back to the Earth.
Rocket tranquility, we copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
So this is the Neil Armstrong first stepping into the moon surface, and he said a very, very memorable words that make us think that further exploration is possible.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Okay, that's it. And he said, once Neil Armstrong said, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This is a very, very memorable words and make us believe that nothing is impossible and further exploration is possible. Now you guys wondering why should you guys listen to me talking about the first moon landing? I know I'm just a regular students with no experience about spacecraft or spaceship and other related to this mission, but I have already done so much research for this, so I think I have the right to do this. Next. We have 3 main points here that I would like to discuss. The first one is the historical context leading up to the first landing mission, and the second is the mission, the challenge and the achievement of the Apollo 11 mission, and the last is the legacy for us of this from this event. Okay, this is the historical context of the moon landing. So the moon landings began with the space race. So the space race were ignited by a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. For easier understanding, let's just say that you have a friend that have a name United States and you as a Soviet, and your friend here, United States, hates you, but the situation here is that your friend cannot fight or maybe too afraid to fight. So here's the situation. The United States are very clever. Instead of having a fight, Soviet and United States having a fight, that means having a war. So the United States actually recruited your other friends to come and join to hate you. So eventually, if you don't have any friends left, you will lose your power, and United States will eventually create a weapon to fight against you. And the technology as well, for example, this topic like the space race, the first moon landing. So what will you do? Of course, you will get scared and forced to surrender. That is the point of Cold War. So that was the short explanation of Cold War. Next, in 1957, Soviet Union strike US first, with launching a Sputnik, the first artificial satellites igniting the space race. And just 4 years later, in 1961, Soviets struck United States again with sending cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin for becoming the first human to orbit Earth. So this is Yuri Gagarin. Next is the President John F. Kennedy challenges. President John F. Kennedy challenged deliver a powerful speech and saying that I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man onto the moon and returning him safely back to the earth. So this is a very, very powerful speech sent by John F. Kennedy, so that ignites the Apollo 11 mission. Next is the mission overview. So this is the Apollo 11 mission launched on July 16, 1969 with 3 astronauts. From left to right, we have Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. And Neil Armstrong as a captain for this mission. Next is the challenge and risk. We have, I think, 6 challenges. The first one is the mission was filled with doubt from all of the especially citizens from America, and they have to navigate a safe landing manually because their communication were limited at that time and having a small margin of error. And actually, Neil Armstrong must be manually piloted the Eagle to safely land into the moon's surface. And also, don't forget the boulders. So boulders is actually when some asteroid hits the moon's surface and it creates like a giant hole. So that is boulders. Okay, next is the key achievement from the Apollo 11 mission. This is the purpose of the mission. On July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human to set the foot onto the moon and leaving a plaque. So a plaque, I think you guys very familiar about this. So when you make it into a top of the mountain, you might see some plate with the name of the mountain. For example, Gunung Lawu 3000 so on mdpl. So this is very similar concept, but this one say that here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind. So we come up to our last points, which is the legacy of the first moon landing. I have 3 sub-points. The first one is the scientific advancement, development of new technologies such as computer and materials to make new technologies, and also insight to the moon's composition and origins, for example like moon rocks and other materials from the moon. Next is the second is the cultural and political impact. An estimated 600 million people watch the event live on television, and that makes that people around the world started to think that United States is a superpower country. Okay, next, number 3 is the inspiration for future exploration. Number 1 is the plans for Mars exploration, which we already have done by now. And the second is inspired generation of scientists, engineers, and the most important are the dreamers. Now, we come up to the conclusion. The first moon landing was a remarkable achievement that showcased human dedication, overcome extraordinary challenges, and left a legacy that continues to influence us today. We have explored the historical context of the moon landing, the challenge of Apollo 11 mission, and the last is that its impact on science and society. I have a quote of the day. Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of a man's desire to understand, by Neil Armstrong. Thank you guys for listening. Okay guys, if you have any question, feel free to contact me personally or leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Irfan Akbar Fahriza. Goodbye.